Hello everyone. I remembered a singer my mum used to listen to. He died on the 14th of March 2023 due to complications of tendonitis. Now, you're probably sitting there thinking, but Trisha, how can you get tendonitis and how can you die from this condition? Here's how. First, I'm not a doctor and this is not medical advice. However, this is very important to talk about as we can get very comfortable and just trust without thinking. I think we are all aware of antibiotics. He was given a particular kind of antibiotic which causes a condition called floxing. What is floxing, you ask? Is it a new dance move? You wish, but no, it's not. It's basically when your tendons explode. Does it hurt? Absolutely. But you might be asking, Trisha, how does this happen? Why did they not tell him? I don't know why they didn't tell him, because if he had known this might happen, I think he would have taken a different option. Either A, used a different medication, or B, stayed off his feet. But you cannot give a performer medication that will affect their feet and not tell them. And because of the infection that he got related to this condition, he is no longer with us. I will try to leave some links in the description of people who have recovered from having to take these medications, but always read their label very carefully. Imagine if I, as a YouTuber, was given a medication that could stop me from being able to speak, and they didn't tell me, so I continue on as usual, and then suddenly realise I can't talk, possibly ever again. How will I be able to do what I need to do? As a doctor, you have to explain everything. Yes, you expect your patient to read the leaflet, but some of them won't. Some are just not going to. Maybe they're just too blind to see the small print. Maybe they can't read and they don't want to say. It doesn't matter. You are the doctor and you must tell everyone everything to do with their meds. I know for the medication that I take, because it makes you drowsy, I can't drive, I can't ride a bike, and I can't swim on my own. I know this mainly because I read the leaflet. No, they didn't tell me. I also know the medications that they clash with and avoid those. But I think this is important. I ask because some doctors forget, but not everyone will remember to ask, or they might just be too shy, or maybe the reasons above that I've stated. We need to be more thorough when examining the medications, and here is something important. If you do not feel 100% confident with the symptoms of the medication that you are taking, talk to your doctor about it. It could be that you're feeling a symptom of your illness, or it could be a symptom of the medication. Remember, you do not want to end up like poor Bobby Caldwell, whose wife ended up having to make a documentary about Floraquhinalones and the effect that they have had on her husband. I will just say that in the UK, they are considered the last resort to be used because of the effect that they have on the body, and any medication that you see that has a black box on it, always ask questions, and as they say in the documentary, ask your doctor if they would take it. In Australia, there was a lawsuit between people who gave this medication out and people who were floxed. The fact that his Achilles exploded along with other symptoms, which stopped him from working and eventually killed him. I'm going to leave a link in the description because it needs to be seen. If anything makes you feel wrong or uncomfortable while you are taking medication, say something. Don't let them brush you off. Say something. Even if you just don't want to take it because you've heard things about it, tell them. If you think that it might clash with some of your medication or even the foods that you eat regularly, say something. For example, I know someone who takes high blood pressure medication, but was told at one point that they should stop eating grapefruit, which was their favourite fruit, because it would have made the blood pressure too low, when what they really should have said was to lower the blood pressure, they didn't need the medication if they ate grapefruit. This poor person only found out later after they had to give up their favourite fruit. Luckily, if anyone's wondering, no, they're not still on that medication. They are back to eating grapefruit. Always speak up, and if you're a person like me who is an introvert or who is shy, I have a few suggestions that I would even use. Number 1, take an advocate with you. even if it's a service dog. If it's a human, tell that person everything you would normally say, but are too scared to. Go into detail so that they do not miss a beat. However, if you go down this route so that they do not treat you like a child, try to remain alert even if you're not speaking. Do what you can to remain alert so that even though you're not speaking, they will know everything they hear is true. Number 2, record what you need to say to the doctor beforehand and play it when you get there. To close this out regarding poor Bobby Caldwell, all I'm going to say is, imagine if it was you. You go to bed, you've taken antibiotics for a cold, which, by the way, antibiotics are for bacteria, not viruses. Then you wake up, and the first thing you do is you call your wife and you say, "Mary, I can't get out of bed." Then you have to take your very full-grown husband. He wasn't overweight, but he was still a grown-up, and heave him into a wheelchair. This is what in sickness and in health means, people. She automatically became his carer. He ended up dying at 71, which isn't really old at this point. He could have made it to his 80s maybe. Who knows? He was still very spry and very active and very alert. But this happened and it changed his entire life. I just want to mention, by the way, before I leave, that I am not a medication denialist. I take a lot of medication, but it's made me think that we need to be careful. If you're still here, then you're handsome and you're beautiful, and you, well, I'm speechless. I'll let you know next time I see you. Over to the pets. Hello all, this is Sylvie. If you liked what you saw, then subscribe for more. Hey everyone, my name's Bonjour. If you enjoyed yourself, then give it a thumbs up and share it with all your friends. Hi everybody, I'm Jack, and if you had fun, then comment down below and let my mum know what is the worst side effect that you've had.